Hi, and welcome to another episode of Wine and Wisdom. I'm Thomas Le Hoang, and you're listening to the TL podcast, where knowledge is shared and no one takes themselves too seriously. Okay, boys, let's digging into the.
He's clearly had some shit to get off his chest.
Let's get into the next one here, boys.
Jesus.
Well, for me, I don't know if I've done enough to dethrone Chris today.
Are we really rating Chris's wine?
Yeah, because he's his top. He's the top wine of the day.
You just said it felt like it was off.
And it's still better than yours. So
But it
yours
still
shit.
was better. No, come on. Yours still had that bubble of young wine.
Yeah, but it didn't have the bubble of off.
No,
It didn't have the bubble of sour.
no.
I'm not even saying
I
it 'cause
reckon.
I don't like Chris.
Two
I'm
things
saying
has happened to Chris's wine. Either it was.
I'm passing the knife, mate. I've just got...
It's taken a bit of heat, either in the boot or somewhere when you bought it. Do you know that when you buy wine, if that wine is in the heat for 20 minutes, it changes the wine. You know, I've been to a mate of mine just last week who keeps all his wine close to the ceiling. Where is it the hottest in winter and in summer, mate? Are you serious? That's how you kill your wine. Why do you think the French keep it underground? There must be a reason. They don't put it up the ceiling, you know?
Exactly.
Anyway, mine is a Rosemount Estate single vineyard series. So this is from the Q block, Cabernet Sauvignon 2011. We all know Rosemount Estate. The only thing that I was looking for was a wine that was really bold. And so let's have a look at how bold this wine from McLaren Vale is and see whether it can beat Chris.
Oh, look at the colour in that. Jeez. That's deep.
This one could actually beat every one of them.
It was starting from a low bar, mate.
But you know, listen, as nice as it is, I didn't think it has the length of Chris's wine. This is why mate.
Mate, that's because his wine was sour. And have you ever had a sour
Why is
bloody
it one
gummy
mouth thinks that
before?
and two others don't? Jeez. Admit.
No, but it had some good.
No,
it
it's
has
not
some good
nice,
length.
it's
It
nice.
has some good length.
Mate, I just tipped out a glass of white wine. If anyone in Australia can tell me they've seen me ever tip out a glass of white wine, regardless of how expensive or cheap it was, write into Chris's Wine is Shit at wineandwisdom.com.au. But
Yeah, so we started 2021 the same as 2020.
no, we haven't,
so
mate. I just,
it's,
I feel bad for you because you paid that much for it.
No, it's all good, mate.
You made the effort. The effort was there. The execution.
No, it's all good, mate. It's all
Listen,
good.
my daughter, actually, my young daughter, the 13-year-old, actually would also pour your wine in the sink. That's because she can't drink. So I don't know about you, mate. Why did you pour it down the sink?
I couldn't
Maybe you
stomach
can't
it,
drink.
mate. Oh,
You don't know how to enjoy quality,
I haven't
man.
grown that much over Christmas, boys.
All right, so let's have a look. So what about the news in the last 4 weeks? What's going on? I mean, this week, Donald Trump's gone.
Gone.
All right, he's moving out on the same day the other dude's moving in. Do you know this is the amazing thing about the White House? Do you know how the White House actually belongs to the president until 12 o'clock on Inauguration Day? And after 12 o'clock, the other president owns it. And the amazing thing is, usually the inauguration lasts about 5 hours. And within those 5 hours, they have teams, like hundreds of people, to change over 100 rooms in terms of colors, carpet, the color of the wall, their furniture. It goes down to this. When the President Biden is going to walk into his bathroom, he's going to find the toothbrush he had in Delaware when he was at his home.
Wow.
He's going to need handrails and adult nappies, mate. That's what he's going to need.
Yeah, maybe. Listen, I don't know whether the guy's going to do a better job or anything. I think that maybe he's won by default.
I think
that the other dude was
So bad that, yeah.
Trump might have had the last laugh because then it can't have a crowd. There's no crowd at the inauguration. They're having the army because they're worried about
I don't think
riots.
that Trump's going to have the last laugh. For Donald Trump, losing has never been part of his vocabulary.
Yeah.
When you read the book by Mary Trump, his niece, who would know something about his family, whenever he's done a bad deal, his dad would just send money and put it in his coffin, right? Because his dad was very bad at PR, and Donald was very, very good at PR. And so for his dad, making sure that he kept on putting money in his son's coffin so that he could do more and more PR, even if it was going to be money down the drain, he was doing something that the rest of the Trump family couldn't do.
I think Donald Trump will convince himself that he didn't lose the election.
But he knows already. He hasn't lost. I'm telling you, that guy really
He does believe it.
He
yeah.
does truly believe he hasn't lost, mate.
Yeah. I've got a question for you guys. And, you guys know I don't keep up to date like with current affairs like you guys
Wine's
do.
made that cheese better.
But, they had the Trump supporters storm the White House.
The Capitol, not the White House. The
It was
Capitol.
through the Capitol.
The Capitol building where they were having the vote to ratify the election result.
Okay.
The Capitol is about a few k's from the White House. Okay.
The Capitol's a building that blows up on
So
designated
do you think
survivor.
if it was roles reversed where Trump had won the election,
Yeah.
do you think the result of, the police presence and military force would have been different? Do you think more people would have been hurt and maybe
I think if
would have
they
been
were
a
all-
whole different scenario?
I think if they were all black, they ought to have been shot. But they're all white, so they weren't. And I also wouldn't be surprised if someone from the left opened the door for them and let them in.
Yeah,
Because it's the worst thing. The worst thing that could have happened to Donald Trump was those people get inside the building, and now they've completely delegitimised anything that side of politics was trying to achieve. I've probably fallen victim to reading too many different news articles at the moment because I can't trust any of it.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah.
Like to the point where today news.com.au had photos of Trump supporters, they were calling them, with automatic rifles getting ready to go to the protest at the inauguration. Who fucking knows if that's true or not, if they're really
Yeah, that's correct.
Trump supporters. They're just labelling people now. Anyone who disagrees with Joe Biden or the left is a Trump supporter now. That's what they've called them, and that's what that right did. That's what those people getting into the building did, and that's why they started throwing, whether it's conspiracy theories true or not, that half the people there were actually Antifa and from the left doing it, so Trump supporters would get a bad name. So you wouldn't be surprised if someone opened the door.
Anyway, we don't know too much of
We don't
this
know
stuff,
anything,
but we know that you have to apply real logic, and we don't have to buy all the crap that we hear or read in papers. So,
We've said
so
this before.
the only thing we know for sure is this: Inauguration Day is on the 20th. There is a new president in the White House. That is something that is going to happen.
Yep.
Whether he gets shot before, whether whether the other one is going to turn around and say, I'm not leaving. I mean, those are the things that they may change stories, but that's what we know for sure. All right. So what else is happening in the world that we know?
We're still wearing masks, even though no one's died from COVID for months and months and months. When was the last COVID death in this
Mate,
country?
yeah, you're talking about masks. The other day I went shopping for seafood and I walked into Castle Towers and I'm going down from the parking down to the ground floor. So I had to go through 3 floors to the fish shop just to realize I forgot my mask.
Pain in the ass. A lot of walking involved there.
What up?
Man, do you know, I felt bad. Nobody said one thing to me because I think they look at me and they're going, oh, man, this dude doesn't have that kind of nice kind of face. If you tell him something, he's probably going to deck you. But I felt bad.
Yeah.
I got attacked by
I
a
had to walk
95
back up, and I walked back up to Apple in order to get one because I didn't have one.
I was at a golf course yesterday on the Central Coast and
Yeah.
got attacked by a 90-year-old lady because I walked into the pro shop without a mask. And it was an innocent mistake because I know the pro there. So I said, well, do we need to have masks on? He said, no, mate, it's not mandatory. And I said, oh, sorry, but give me one. And anyway, this lady's into me. And then apparently after I left, she was into the pro for about 10 minutes about me being there without a mask. And look, I understand because old people are the ones that die from it. But what I can't understand is we had 2 cases on the Central Coast, both that came from the northern beaches. And we're still wearing masks, still not allowed more than 5 people into a house.
Yeah.
The great news is that one of the vaccines doesn't work and the other one's killing people in Norway. So fucking fantastic. Can't wait to take it. And then I read today that they're going to make them, they're not going to make it mandatory, but you're not going to be able to go to a pub or club unless you've been vaccinated. Qantas has already said you're not going to be able to fly unless you're vaccinated. So unfortunately, and I've been off Facebook for a long time now, which has been great because nothing's fueled my fire. But I'm starting to think that all the shit that I carried on with when this first happened is coming true, mate. They're keeping it a sim mask because they can. They're going to make the vaccine mandatory without making it mandatory. The government control. I mean, Gladys looks like she's doing a better job than all the other premiers carrying on, but we are still on the Central Coast, not allowed to walk into the shop next to the office without a mask on when we've had no cases and no deaths. People were dying and they were still letting people off planes in the beginning Now
Well,
no
look-
one's dying and we can't fucking go anywhere or do anything.
Well, look at the Australian Open. They've had,
Yes.
mate, that's just farcical. They've had 2 planes come in. There's 57 people now in strict quarantine because 2 people on those flights got on the plane not positive for COVID, got off the plane positive for COVID. There's 22 tennis players and 57 altogether off those 2 planes now in strict quarantine.
How good is Dan Andrews going, by the way?
But how quick did they backflip? Because there was a big stink. Someone said, he goes, you've got all these people coming from overseas on international flights into Melbourne, yet you won't let people live in Melbourne into Melbourne because they're in the Blue Mountains in Sydney or they're in Wollongong in Sydney. Yeah. Now, that decision was flipped within 12 hours. Yeah. From this morning I heard it to this afternoon, Melbourne have gone, borders are open. Everywhere in Sydney is now a yellow zone and not a red zone.
It's crazy. What are you going to do about the vaccine?
I don't know. I need to go to the pub.
The pubs have said, why the hell do we have to
Let me tell
enforce
you.
it?
Let me tell you. The mask has been the best thing for me because I haven't been to shopping centres.
It's the best you've ever looked.
I had to go to shopping centre. Mate, the first time I had to wear the mask, I almost suffocated. I said to the kids, I couldn't.
Shocking.
So every 30 seconds, I used to put the mask like this and then ventilate myself.
I reckon temperature goes up 10 degrees.
Oh,
the
man, I
minute you
couldn't
put it on.
breathe.
That's because you realise how bad your breath is.
That too. That too. That's when you go, shit, mate. Your breath's
Can I
sick."
give everyone a tip? Don't eat a mint while you've got the mask on and burn the shit out of my eyes. I'm trying to...
Like the chili you had today.
Mate, I've stuck 2 breath mints in before a listing appointment. I'm breathing through this mask and the breath is burning my eyeballs because of the...
Listen, I think the mask is good because it's actually going to reduce people from shopping. So my wife won't go to shopping centers that often. I have not gone. Beside that fish shop, I have not been to shopping centers. I'm not interested. I'm not going to wear a mask and put myself through this stuff.
Hasn't stopped anyone shopping
It's
in
killing
my
me.
house. The
Right? I'd rather
fucking
have
delivery
it
every other
delivered
day.
home. So the mask is gone.
You answered me about
the vaccine
So
story, I mean, it's just crazy.
AstraZeneca doesn't work or only works for 60% of people.
What about the Chinese one,
And
50?
And the Pfizer one is now they think might be killing people in Norway, except everyone that's died has been over 80, so they're not sure
With underlying issues.
So, well, coronavirus is only killing people over 80 with underlying issues, and
Underlying
we've shut
issues
the whole
too.
fucking world down.
But
for it,
Albanese wants a vaccine in everyone.
yeah, put it in now. Put it in now. And fucking Berejiklian's come out today or yesterday and said we're thinking about stopping you going anywhere or doing anything unless you're vaccinated.
All right.
They're going to
Listen.
drag me kicking and screaming, and I'm telling you, boys, it's not happening.
Guys, we're only talking about things that probably a lot of people would have access to in terms of information way more.
We're just talking shit.
Yeah, we're talking shit. However, let's talk principles because that's what Stoics do. And the principles to me, are these. One, we are allowing a few idiots to impose upon us some of their thinking.
People who don't know who they are, what they're doing, or where they're going. We spoke about that.
Are they real? I mean, seriously, are you going to stop me from going into a pub because I haven't got a mask? What kind of people are we becoming that we can't even think that we have a voice?
They're already stopping us going in for not having a mask. They're about to stop us for going in for not injecting something that hasn't been scientifically proven to be safe into our bodies.
Yeah.
Are you fucking serious? This is the world we're now living in, kids.
This is amazing. They make decisions like this, and who is now going to pay for all those elderly who died because they trusted the government? I guarantee you, they're getting you to sign a form that says, mate, if you start growing a third arm, it's not our fault. You can't sue us. All of that stuff is going to happen,
I
right?
guarantee you that when they start dying, possibly because of the vaccine, they just come out and go, oh, they were going to die anyway. They had underlying health conditions. Whereas in reverse, when they were trying to scare us, they're saying, oh, no, the underlying issues didn't cause it. It was COVID. They're going to flip the fucking script.
Sorry, boys.
Right? You won. Yeah, you won. Hang
No,
on.
don't agree.
No, Thomas won, but can you not interrupt me talk about something that I know nothing about, please? Because that's what we all do. I'm going to be the fucking premier soon. I'm going to make up all these willy-nilly rules about shit I know nothing about. But that's what's going to happen. People are going to get sick from the vaccine and go, oh, no, they had a lot of comorbidity factors anyway. But when they were trying to get us to lock ourselves in our house for fucking 5 weeks like they did, and mate, we can thank whoever that it was only 5 weeks for us. Melbourne copped it for a lot longer.
Yeah,
So,
Yeah,
absolutely.
but we don't have to go far, boys. We're talking COVID, we're talking vaccine. Here's another thing.
Solent Circuit got listed as a place of interest on the bloody National Health website.
Yeah, I
Did
know.
you know that?
I know.
I was going to ring you for that too.
They want me to
I know
be
you don't
at
return
Biden's
calls.
inauguration, and I said maybe. So they are protecting me. They are taking me over there. Now, what I'm talking about is we're giving our civil liberties for the moment. We're giving it away. Do you know why? Because most government knows this. If you can have your population not starving, if there is more of the middle class than anything else, than poor people, then you're safe. Then you can put any kind of laws. Here is the thing that I would like to talk about, boys. As of this year, the beginning of this year, you now have those mobile cameras not having to put those warning
Signs up.
anymore.
Yeah.
And they removing all the stripes off
The cars.
the cars. So now, here's the mentality we have in. The government, am selling you a permit, Chris, you're a citizen, to drop in on every other citizen, find place to hide so that you can catch other citizens, right? Overtaking someone. So when you overtake, you accelerate a little bit more and it takes your car a little bit of time to decelerate. So that we both make money to fill up the coffins of the states and your pocket.
Are they doing that?
Yes.
Yes.
It's already on.
So you can ring up, give them a place to go, and they pay you for it.
No.
No.
So you can have a business where you park.
No, you bought it. You bought the business. mate.
Oh, I'm with you now. Right,
So
right,
those
right.
mobile speed cameras, they're not cops, right? The cars that sit
They're
on the
now
side of the road.
privately owned.
They were. They've always been. They're parking inspectors. So you can now sit there in your car. You might as well be a fucking Uber driver, and while you're there, have a speed gun, essentially.
Wow.
So they're going to hide members of the public who pay for a franchise model, I guess. It'll be something like a franchise. I'm going to buy the rights to the Central Coast or to Woy Woy Road or whatever the fuck it is. I don't have to mark my car and I can sit there all day and collect. So they turn the
What are
people
we
on themselves.
what are we teaching? We just
John
go-
Farnham said, what about the age of reason? What about the age? Come on.
Don't sing, man. Don't sing.
What about the world around us? What have we failed to see? Good song. Yeah, it's communist. It's, mate,
No, it's not communist. It's
Russia.
because the middle class here is so comfortable. We will take all that stuff without saying one word.
helps that they snuck it all in while all this shit
in
was
many
going.
ways,
Yeah.
this is what I like about the Trumps. Is that at least they call those stupid rules out, and so that people can go, we don't do that crap. And
Why don't we have that here, for one? And two, aren't we lucky we're not in Russia? Because the only opposition politician just got arrested there after he'd been poisoned. So you can't speak in Russia. Here we can speak and no one fucking does because we're happy getting fed. As Thomas said, keep people with a roof over their head and food in their mouths, they won't uprise. But what they've managed to do, which was the whole conspiracy theory about COVID to begin with for all the people who said it didn't exist, is a massive smokescreen for the government to rush in whatever laws they want,
There's a lot going on.
unbeknownst to anyone.
There's a lot going on.
I'm not one of those people. I'm sure there is a disease out there somewhere. But, mate, they're doing a lot of shady shit and we're all fucking falling for it. And then we're all going to complain about it. And then we've turned into a community of the cancel culture bullshit where people will dob each other in because that makes them a hero on fucking
no,
Facebook.
but I want you to go further than that. There's now going to be a culture of dobbing in. But let's go back one step before that culture. So now there's going to be the Chris's of the world buying permit in order to make money. You read a book and your flash is now making money for you,
Yep.
right? What's stopping a guy from having received a few tickets? He's pissed off now. He runs to you with a brick and throws through. What are we doing? What are we doing to our citizen that drives them to start thinking of ways to either protect themselves or being angry?
So what happens when we all turn on each other?
Yeah.
What does the government have to do? Crack down on us harder. Because all of a sudden we've turned on each other. So now we need more rules and more law and order and more control because now we're trying to kill each other because you've paid someone to sit on the side of a road and take food off the table
Yep.
of another human. That's what it's about.
And I think that this is why we need to stop following the rules blindly. And we need to still exercise conscience for what is right and what should be done in order to go further than a ticket or making money for the state.
What did we talk about in that book before? One of the lessons for January was not to do things out of habit. Don't do what you're told to do just because you're told to do it.
Exercise some logic. Exercise thinking.
Ask questions about it. One of the other lessons, they talk about reasoned choice in there, where you go, we should be governed by our reasoned choice. Why does that make sense? Why are they telling us to do that? And unfortunately, the people, and we've spoken about this before, the people that are speaking up about it are nobodies essentially on Facebook who don't have the means nor the inclination to really do something about it. The people with the money who are super comfortable and super powerful and can probably speak more eloquently than anyone in this room and get the people up, don't care because they're sitting on their millions or think there's too many idiots in the world for them to bother. We've had that chat.
Or they're the ones building the speed cameras and importing the cars.
So what else is in the news?
It's a bit depressing, that, isn't it?
I mean, another thing that's in the news is, listen, should we have broken the law? Donald Trump is going to issue tomorrow, his last day, apparently, or his second last day, at least 100 pardons. So we may be 3 of the 100 pardons that he would do. But apparently his pardon cost $2 million.
He's going to pardon himself.
It's an oxymoron, then, isn't it? He's going to pardon 100 people, but he's also still executing people right up to the last. He just executed the first woman in the US for 40 years or something. It was first lady to be executed. He's on death row. So he reinstituted the death penalty after Obama got rid of it, or before Obama got rid of it. So he's still killing people. And mate, you're a brave person to be still executing in America with all these innocents that have been found on later on. But then he's going to let 100 of his mates go. They'll all be his friends. He's already pardoned half the politicians that got done for his first impeachment stuff, hasn't he?
Yeah.
For the Russia thing.
Yeah, Russia probe.
I hate that we talk about America so much. I wish we were more interesting.
No, we talk about America because whatever America does, we do. Like,
They've
you know,
changed
America.
cheese to cheese.
That is.
No. America says a few things about China, and then Scott Morrison goes and say, "Oh well, let's start a probe and find out the source of the COVID-19." Did we have to do this? Seriously, did we have to do this?
You know what?
And then the moment that Scott Morrison has said that, you did not hear Wuhan flu, the China flu, the let's make China pay for this. We did not hear from Donald Trump again. He just set up a fire, somebody took it and ran with it, and he went, done.
I can see where that, but I want China to be brought to account too. And that's
No, I don't want to because, mate, I had the cheapest lobster at Christmas. Mate, there was more lobsters than prawns in the seafood stores. Because this is another thing that we're not looking at, boys. Wine's now going to be cheaper for us because China stopped. The lobster have been cheaper than prawns.
How many people are going to go out of business because they're doing that shit?
Hold on. Here is the question. Because you're exporting to China, do you have to punish the Australian public?
Yeah.
And now that you don't have that, suddenly you're now doing us a favor by reducing. I'm sorry. If your value is money first, then when it happens, mate, I'm laughing too. Mate, I am enjoying my lobster cheaper than prawns these days.
The price
If you're a 3% agent but someone offers you 5%, do you take it?
What are you talking about?
Well, if we as Australians are willing to pay the price that they're charging us.
Yeah, but I don't have to
That's
keep.
not the business
But if I've been
fault.
charging 2.5%, I'll keep on charging everyone 2.5%. And the ones that are rich that want to give me that money because they're from China, mate, why not?
No, well, so if they can get $25 for a bottle of wine here, you're saying they shouldn't. We
No,
pay it.
no, they should. They should. But don't penalize the people in your country who have been, maybe it's communism, maybe it's values. Is that when you didn't have that, you didn't do that to us. And then now you have it, you go, well, mate, overseas paying way more. Do you know what? Stuff you. Drink shit. We're going to give you wine that is way lesser quality. And by the way, the price is going to go up because we could actually give it to foreigners. I'm sorry. If you are going to do that, then when those foreigners are going to piss on you, well, I will not piss on you because I will still take your lobster tail at a cheaper price than prawns.
I don't know if I agree with you on that. I'll have to think on that one some more.
I think it's fair in what you're saying that if
I don't think they're ripping
if
us
you're
off
gonna-
if we're willing to pay it.
We have no choice.
we don't have a choice. That's it. We don't have an option. Well,
And
no, we
drink it.
don't.
Don't drink it. We've always got choice.
Oh, I can see what you're saying. Well, look, I never bought tomahawk steaks. I never bought tomahawk
There's
steaks.
always a
because
cheaper one.
They were so expensive. It was $42 a kilo.
For every
You
30...
can go to Woolworths now, $25 a kilo. And it's a beautiful cut of meat, beautiful marbling through it.
Listen, mate, I haven't.
There's a starving farmer somewhere.
Listen,
who
mate,
can't feed
I
his
haven't
kids.
had lobster tail in the last few years. I had to pretend that I was happy with the Moreton Bay bugs.
You could have. You just a tired ass.
But why? Because when they charging what they charging, why would you spend that? You actually tell yourself, you know what? I will eat certain things in the budget so that the family can enjoy Christmas in a better way and have more money to buy them presents. Right? But when the lobster tail or the lobster goes down to $29 a piece, Christmas time.
But they're not even breaking even, mate. You need to watch the Discovery Channel show on the Lobster Wars or whatever they call it, where they all go out and catch the lobsters and sell. Maybe because I know them personally now through watching them on TV, I feel bad for the lobster producers.
I get that. Yeah,
The cold-hearted prick.
Yeah.
For every $25 steak you buy, there's a starving farmer's baby who can't afford the 2-minute noodles it's trying to eat.
All right, so I got to ask you a question. Is that the farmer's fault, my fault, or the middleman's fault? Who's getting the markup there?
It's not about a fault.
No, but who's getting the markup? Who's marking it up? Because the farmer's not selling out at $23 a kilo and they're selling it to me for $25 a kilo. That's for fucking sure.
No, well, the Woolworths go to the farmers and go, guess what? You're not getting $10 a kilo anymore. You're getting 5.
So again, is that my fault or Woolworths'
I'm
fault?
not saying it's your fault. I'm saying him blaming producers for getting more for their stock over here than they're getting in China is not their fault. We're paying it. They're not ripping us off. We're paying it.
So
What do you mean they're not ripping us off when they put us in front of a price of what the Chinese
so again,
pay?
are the purchasers for Woolworths walking in going, I know your China market's dead, and we've been paying $40 a kilo. We're now paying $25 a kilo.
Doesn't matter how the price is getting there.
Well, it does, because
Thomas
we're not
is
doing
saying,
it.
sucked in, you were ripping us off all those years and now we're going to get our own back.
We're a byproduct of what
You're not ripping us off.
what the buyers are doing.
Be grateful that you're getting it for $25, but don't look at it
I'm
as
very
if these
grateful.
pricks have been ripping us
Listen,
off
as
all
far
along.
as food, Australia is the lucky current
I'm
country.
very grateful, but I'm not feeling sorry for them. You're asking me to feel sorry. I'm not.
No, I'm not saying don't feel
I-
sorry. You're attacking
I
them. though.
actually-
Why are you attacking someone
I'm-
who's giving you... They're giving you $25 lobster and you're attacking them.
First of all, lobster is
Choke on your lobster.
lobster.
Moreton Bay bugs are beautiful.
So do-
Lobster
I like them
is-
better.
Fucking oath.
Lobster is a luxury product. So when you said earlier that you have friends, and I don't believe it because it's a luxury product. Okay?
No, I've watched the fucking TV show.
So that's number one.
Prada. Prada.
Number two, if I've been selling you things, all right, and now because a market has opened, we're talking about mateship, we're talking about loyalty. Do I now then turn around and say, yeah, foreigners, thank you very much. Now I will use your demand to jack up the price to these people who are Aussies who have been loyal to me. Is it right?
Is it business? You're a businessman, and we deal in services, though, not product.
But
You're
it's-
not going to try and maximise the return on your product?
We talked about the Stoics earlier. Is the rules of business always right?
No, I'm not saying it's right.
Otherwise, Wall Street
Why are you
would
attacking-
always be right. I'm not attacking you.
No,
you're
attacking
defending
them.
your friends, the luxury people
The
into
lobster
lobster
people,
tail.
mate.
Yeah, I'm not. I go, mate. This is fantastic. What's happening? Do you know? During the break, I was telling my wife.
Same people
We
who attack
spoke.
us.
We spoke on the podcast in April about what the Chinese were doing to us. That we should really have, instead of job keeper and job seeker and all that garbage, start investing in money into primary resources so that our country is ready for the other side of COVID. Have we? This is the question. Have we? Because right now, all I see is we putting money here, we putting money there, but we have not got mask entirely built, or made in Australia. In mask, we're going to go through trillions, billions, right? Because it's not for today. It's going to be for the future. Man, if you think that COVID-19 is a once off, man, come again, right? What about investing into every technology that is about safe, hands-free, and that can actually reduce the
Transmission.
Yeah, or even the bacteria or viruses.
Well, if you
What
stump
about
up-
all that stuff?
If you stump up the cash, we'll get a factory and let's go.
No, but that's not the point.
You'll have heaps of money. You've been
So
paying
I
$25
think
for lobster.
well, mate, $29 cheaper than that's why I won't say that because I haven't invited at your place this Christmas. So I can't say that because I would have looked at your prawn and I would have gone, yeah, okay. He's richer than me because he can afford prawns.
Yeah,
I can only afford lobsters.
We didn't even eat our fucking prawns. Woke up the next day and went, shit, no one ate the prawns. I agree with your sentiment. I don't, well, except for the bit where you think we've been getting ripped off and now you're going to hate on the producers. Yes, it's great that you're getting $29 lobster tail. That doesn't make the person catching it for you.
But when they used to make it to $69, you don't think we got ripped
market
off?
prices, mate. That's what happens.
So the question is, who was making the profit?
Their price changes every day. So
who was making
you
the
watch the
profit?
show, right, and they'll be out on the boat and they'll go, fuck, I've just got word from China that prices are about to drop. I've got to get my boat to the dock now because if I get it before midnight tonight, I'm going to get $100 a kilo. If I go after midnight, it's going to be $84 a kilo. They're just blokes trying to make a living, and you're trying to take it.
No, but you need to understand, mate. My leader, Pauline Hannons, and I, we spoke about this.
They're
And
all Aussies on the boat, Pauline. There's no Chinese lobster fishermen in Tasmania, or at least not on the show.
Are you sure?
Not on the show.
yeah, whatever the Vietnamese boat people would be, there's no lobster. Guarantee you, mate. Around the boat, 100 meters around the boat, there's no lobsters.
All I know is $4 bloody pork roll from Cabernet. Fantastic, mate.
I had one for lunch, would you believe? In Bankstown, bloody best thing I've had in a
No,
long
no,
time.
no, no. Don't believe lunch, mate.
Cabernet, mate.
The day after you were at our place, right?
You wouldn't have made
He
the
had
trip.
stayed at our place.
Jeez.
The next day, I took him down to Cabramatta because he'd been talking to me about rolls, and I talked about the bread and the quality of the bread. How was that roll?
That was a good roll. That was a good roll.
Should have got him to visit my mother-in-law. She lives in Cabramatta. She would have made you faster as well.
It was the perfect hangover cure.
Can I tell you, I needed 40 of those rolls. For fuck's sake, can I tell you, man? After your
You would have
place,
been gone for a week.
your son is evil. Seriously.
Well,
He knows.
my son is evil,
We all
mate.
have choices.
I've never seen Chris just going that fast, mate.
You put it in front of me. It's there to be drunk. You're not playing. We're not there to fuck spiders.
And he was playing with scotch, with sake, with wine. Man, you were just
You were in trouble early,
crazy,
mate.
man.
You were in trouble early.
Yeah, there wasn't a beverage that I wouldn't consume. I must admit that I was quite hungover.
And by the way,
You're
Mike,
lucky you got a friend like him because he said I had to help him into the car. I would have pushed in the
I
van.
had
That's where I come into my
you
own.
don't understand, but that's because it's not your dam, it's my dam. So I had to get him in the car to make sure the dam was fine. You know?
Can I just say, if you pushed me in the dam, you'd be coming in to pull me out too. 'Cause I wasn't in a state to be able to get out. Can I tell you that?
Blowing
mate?
bubbles.
So, boys,
night.
what else? What else is there? What's the news?
Market's
I
good.
got to ask you. During Christmas and during New Year's, there was the restrictions on, you know, people in your house, and it was 5, and then it was 10, and it was you're allowed 5 in your own family, and then 10 outside, and so forth. Did you
Five
stick
would
to-
have been an increase for us, mate.
whatever it was? You know, you allowed your own family, then 10 more, or
I
whatever
have
it
trouble.
was.
No, there was no 10. There was 5 all of the
It
time.
was 10.
Before that was 10.
It was 10, I think, the day after your place. It changed to
Yeah,
5.
that's right. Went to 5.
Yeah,
I stuck to it.
yeah. You did?
Absolutely, 2,000%.
We didn't have anyone to our joint, which was pretty standard. So.
I kind of figured it's a bit rough on the government to sort of put those restrictions in just, you know, when everyone wants to celebrate. And we all worked.
I wouldn't have cared. I had the option before, so the end of Isaac's footy season restrictions were still in, and we were running out of places to have the presentation day for the trophies. I was going to have them at my house. It would have been about 60 people. And I didn't care personally, but then when I found out that everyone who's there would get fined, not just the host, I pulled the plug because God love my neighbours. I'm pretty sure that one or two reasons to dob us in, so I didn't think we could do it inconspicuously. But I wouldn't have abided by the rule for health reasons. I don't give a shit. But the fines that everyone...
No, you see, this is where I'm different again. I give a shit for the fact that the northern beaches... Come on, you imagine this. Around Christmas Eve or a few days before Christmas, you're going to be in total lockdown.
Oh, no, I give a shit about that. I'm saying
And so
I
went,
didn't care
no,
for my own
but
safety.
out of solidarity, we had to do it. And so the other part of me is, listen, I disagree with what these guys. No, I disagree with what these guys do. But these guys are the people that we, in majority, have voted to be in parliament. We will abide because that is what the Stoic would do to play their part as a citizen, law-abiding citizen.
Yep.
I understand that
Being
between
solid with people from the Northern Beaches has worked out so well for you in the past. I can understand why that you want such
Mate,
solidarity with
that was part of my biggest lessons out of 2020. Anyway,
Stick solid, brother. Stick solid. So I've had to read that book 3 times. Maybe you should.
so
Get him on with it.
So out of solidarity, you have to do this stuff, but also out of rules. You know, if you call yourself law-abiding citizen, and I understand, I know there were 2 polls. A poll of people who like couldn't give a crap, right? They're not going to disturb our parties. But yes, I belong to the other side, and also I believe that the government has got access now to Telstra and a lot of information. They don't have to use it. But I even said to Alexander, one of these days you might wake up and find yourself wanting to become wise and then run for prime ministership or whatever it is. You don't want anyone to come back and say to you, IMEI, your phone card was found at that address, and at that date when we were on the rules of 5, you guys were 15 together. All those things, just, you don't want that. Okay? Whether you want to break it or not, I don't care. But personally, look at life as something that is longer. And if, for the moment, he's saying, no, I don't want to do anything with politics and all that stuff. But if where you can change
Don't know where life's going to take
life is at that level, you can't predict the future. Why not making sure that you've got all the cards on your side?
Yep.
It's an easy one to do too. That's an interesting topic, though. I'd love to talk about that one day because I've got that at the moment with a certain 13-year-old son who's putting stuff on YouTube that could very easily in later life come back and bite him in the arse, and I can't get that through.
For me, at Christmas time, it was the first time in history, first time in my life, I couldn't see my father.
Yeah.
They were in total lockdown again because of the outbreak, and we weren't allowed to go see him. We weren't allowed to pick him up and bring him out for lunch. That was the very, very, very first time. For me, it really hit home. And I think there's a lot of old people out there that look forward to Christmas time to be spending it with their families, whether it's grandkids, kids, whatever it may be, that were just cut off because of the decisions of those that are above.
I hear you. But, you know, whenever you have a problem, look at someone who's got a worse one. My father is 91 next month. And from what has happened with the tennis and the Australian Open, it doesn't look like we're going to be able to travel 2021 overseas. So now I have to hope that Dad is going to be around when he's 92.
Yep.
You can go and see your dad next week.
I can.
Yeah. And the closer we get to the future, the closer the future is, the lesser chance it's going to happen. That's the probability. Come on, man. So, yeah, okay, you didn't spend that day with him.
But I'm saying a lot of people missed out of that. And I think that, 5 people per household at the time, or whatever it was, 10.
Tell the man who lost his father from COVID after New Year's Eve. Because he'll tell you, who cares? We could have done it afterwards. Listen, of all the countries,
cheer up, you two.
This is the thing about the Open. All of these athletes that are complaining about how hard and how harsh our rules are, mate, fly home.
I don't think they should
get
play.
on the plane and freaking fly home because we didn't need your COVID here.
I don't think they should play.
If we are all being punished, if we have borders being closed among Australians, serious?
Can I make a prediction, though? And I'm going to try and lighten the mood a little bit, but still talk about tennis, you depressing fucking... Jesus Christ, first one of the year. Love you.
Get on with it.
I don't think
Lobster boy.
I don't think they should play. We've seen with the cricket, you be locked in your hotel room for 2 weeks in isolation. You're going to get hurt and go out and try and play sport at an elite level. You're going to be hurt. A lot of the Indian cricketers have been injured, more than would ever happen on a normal cricket tour. And I think you'll find that the amount of injuries that come out of the Australian Open, if they go ahead and play after they've been in 2 weeks of lockdown, there's a prediction for you. Watch. A lot of people don't realise the effect that stress has on the body, and in sports people you see it in injuries. So you can pretty much set your clock when a rugby league player, because they're so good at it, gets into trouble, big trouble. You can pretty much set your clock to them having a major injury inside the month if they're still playing. You can pretty much set your clock to it. No one understands that that's actually more than likely a huge side effect of the stress going through their body. Your core, which stabilises all your joints and all your major things, is the first thing to switch off when you're under massive amounts of stress. The general public wouldn't understand that, so they just see an athlete getting hurt. But when you actually look at the circumstances around it, quite often stress-related. So I think the tennis players are going to be, and tennis is such an explosive game that 2 weeks of stress, the doubt, everything that's going to creep into them for not being able to practice and follow their normal routines. Elite athletes are creatures of habit and routine. Like we talk about don't act on habit and routine. That's all they do. They have a set time. They have to go and hit so many balls a day. They have to do whatever.
Yeah.
I think big trouble in Little China if they, pardon the pun, if they run the tournament. And I think the money that they'll lose by getting injured is going to be far greater than the money they'll lose by not playing in the tournament. So just my point from a sporting
Makes sense.
perspective.
Absolutely.
Any other news?
Not on my side, Ben.
All right. Anyway, thanks.
Good.
Lobster. Thanks, prawn tails.
Thanks for Tomahawk steaks.
We'll catch up in a few weeks, but I
Northern
think...
Beaches Brothers.
But I think... Let's vote for the wine. Winning wine today.
Winning one's a red.
My red too.
I believe my
Well, I'm going to
Chardonnay
vote
beat
it anyway,
Chris's.
regardless.
So,
Well done.
well
Good
done,
to see you,
man.
boys.
See ya.
Love you all.